your weekly Sunday evening live show where we talk about sports and entertainment. Today, we've got a very, very important special person here to talk to you. This person is a coach, he's a Nigerian coach, Nigerian international coach, who is very, I would not say, who is an expert in athletics. This coach, we're very proud of. Something very wonderful to come out of Nigeria, and indeed Africa has been a very very known person in the athletics world, and we are very proud that he's a standard flag bearer for the Nigerian nation. His name is Kayode Yaya, and he's going to be joining me soon in a bit. And just a background to him, to who he has coached quite a lot of champions in Nigeria and indeed Africa, people that have gone on to do well on the world stage, Commonwealth, World Championship, and obviously in Africa. So my name remains Wally, and my special thanks to my co-host and co-presenter, who is today handling all the technical matters. This is the first time we're broadcasting live to you on this platform. And obviously we'll be bringing in quite a lot of other people, very important people to share this platform with us. Where we are broadcasting live from London. And Coach, if you can hear me, welcome to our show. Good evening.
Thank you very much. I can hear you loud and clear. And thank you for having me on your show tonight.
It's our pleasure. It's an honor to have you here with us. So, Coach, very first question I'm going to ask you. How has it been with this COVID-19 coronavirus? I mean, how are you guys coping?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that came very sudden. It's not something we planned for. Mm-hmm. You know, we never thought of it, and then we never planned for it, but it came. And as usual with life, we learn to do the best that we can to ensure that we overcome this pandemic, and then get back to our normal life. But first, we have to do all that it takes for us to overcome it first, because once there is life, there is hope. So definitely, we have to, go through all the processes required for us to overcome it. So that's how it's been for now.
That's good. That's good. But we do hope and pray that we see the back of COVID-19 pretty soon. How has it been? Yeah, how has it been with your athletes? I mean, how do you get in touch with them? Here in England, I do follow the Premiership quite a lot. And we see the managers of Premier League and even probably world football. What they do now is conduct training sessions over the internet. So they give them workouts to do, training sessions to follow. And then obviously I follow up on what they're doing, on what their players are doing. So how's it been for you with your athletes?
Okay. Yeah, it's been something like that as well. Some of them live with me. We live in the same house. While some of them, we live separately. So the ones we live separately from, they get training section through the internet, and then they do some videos, and then they send the videos for analysis. Mm-hmm. But majorly, we've been doing more of the indoor trainings, and for those who live with me in the same house, we spread different dimensions, talking about trying to do something that's going to give us a background that we can build on when this COVID-19 is over. Mm-hmm. So at first it was very challenging, but later on, we adapted to it and it became fun. Mm-hmm. So it's something that we are really enjoying right now, and it's been working for us so far.
Okay, so that's really, we're really very glad to hear about that. That there's still, despite the COVID-19, your training schedules are obviously ahead and going on, and that's very good. One thing I want you to tell us: what brought you into coaching, especially athletes?
Okay, it's a very good question, but you have to be a little bit patient because I'll be coming from a different angle.
Yeah,
First of
no problem.
all, I love track and field.
Okay.
It's been it's been in my genetics, and I haven't been raised by parents who believe so much in education. It was really
Mm-hmm.
challenging because they want you to go to school, they want you to get a degrees,
Mm-hmm.
so anything else is way out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So I usually would go out there and sneak around to go for practice and all that. But as time was going on, it became very challenging. You know, I remembered when my father locked me out. I went for practice and I came back and I found out that the gate was locked and I kept hitting on the gate and my father didn't open to me and it was raining. I was just there standing under the rain till morning.
Wow.
You know, it's just an experience that I will never forget. So
Mm.
having experienced that, I stopped track and field because it was really not a good experience for me as a young boy
Mm.
like that, being outside all through the night, the morning or under the rain. Of course,
Yes.
I'll be sick after
Mm.
all that experience. So I stepped out of it
Mm.
and then I concentrate. I actually have been concentrating with my schoolwork and it has never affected me in any way doing track and field and then going to school. It has never affected me. I mean, it's been very smooth for me, but guess what? The parents will never understand that. So
Definitely. Yeah, yeah.
it got to that point. Yeah, it got to that point. I couldn't until I got into the university. I studied engineering.
Wow.
Also, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because I tend to have challenges with my lecturer. My
Hmm.
lecturers, each time they see me going for practice, they think I'm very unserious. They think they need to give me more work.
Mm-hmm.
They think they think I can remember one vividly. He said that you know why you're in school? I said yes. He said I'm not sure. I was a bit confused. He said I'm not sure. You know why? Because if you know why you're in school, you wouldn't have time to do sports.
Wow.
Incidentally, that very year, he was made one of the committees that we have to go to the Nuga Games with us. So he followed us to the Nuga Games, and then by the time we returned, already I was in the final year then in my university. By the time we returned, he was proud of me, but he had done a lot of damages before he knew what it was to be a sportsman in school. So I graduated and I went for my youth service. I had other challenges, by the way, which I didn't want to mention right now for some certain reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But when I graduated, I was working. I was working in Abuja. I worked in Boshi. I worked in Jos, and I worked in Abuja. But these jobs were not they were not fulfilling, even though they pay lots of money then. But they weren't fulfilling. So I um I had to go back to what was really fulfilling, which is track and field. I
Mm.
thought I'll get started training again and then get myself together and then, I'll come back
Mm.
and then, fulfill that. But when I got back there, I saw that all the young people I left behind, they grown up,
Mm.
and they're running just fine, but there was no one to look after them. I mean, they were
Mm.
training just on their own. So I was joining them in training, but because I was experienced
Okay. So we seem to have lost Coach Kayode there. Obviously due to signaling issues in Nigeria, where he is. We are talking to him in Nigeria. So we seem to have lost signals with him. So as soon as he comes back, we would um, continue with Coach Kayode. He's been talking to us about what brought him
Correct.
into. Coach, can you hear me? So we're still trying to establish contact with Coach Kayode. So yes, he was talking. Yes, Coach. We lost you for a few seconds there. Yeah, we're back on here. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought so. So I got training with them, and then I do 1 or 2 corrections, and then yeah, and then it's just coming like that. So after a while, I got a job again, not really a permanent one. It's just working, and incidentally, it happens that the project manager, he was an athlete. He is an Italian man. He loves athletics. So when he comes to work, and then we talk about track and field, he's very excited and all that. But he also, when I receive calls from the athletes, he tends to study me and see how I react, what I say to them, and how I feel, and all that. So one day he told me, he said, "You know what? You love this thing. Why don't you just go and and do what you need to do and all that stuff?" And he said, "I know what you're thinking about your job and everything, how to survive and all that. Well, whenever you need money, you can come anytime and work, and we'll pay you." That was encouraging. I left, even though I never returned back there. But that was what pushed me into coaching. So I went back to the kids, and we started small. They were all pretty young. So we started small, and we were going on and on and on and on and on. And one athlete will come up, the second, the third. So people like the former technical director of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, the person of Komodo Nesema, he encouraged me to go for a coaching course. I mean, you just have to go for a coaching course because I think you're really doing well with what you're doing right now. So I went for the coaching course at the National Institute for Sport then, NIS, and obtained a degree there. And then I went into coaching, and that was when Ese Brume went for the Commonwealth Games. I actually went for the World Junior, and then the following week she went for the Commonwealth Games, and the following week after that week she also went for the African Championships at Morocco there. So since then I've been putting my feet on the pedal, never look back. I'm talking.
Thank you for that story. I mean, it's quite interesting. I know you left some other points out. Probably due to time.
Yeah, I did.
But it's wonderful to hear that story.
Mm-hmm.
I want to dive now straight into someone you just mentioned, Ese Brume. How did you? She's like a shining star, a bright star for Nigeria. I mean, in just a little bit of just a couple of years, she's done excellently well for herself and obviously for Nigeria. Obviously, with your training, how easy or how hard is it getting an athlete like her, somebody like her, motivated to do more for herself?
Okay, when you get to train the athletes, you need to spell out what it means to become an athlete. First of all, I will always make them know that this is not a social gathering. We are doing this because God gave us the ability to do that. And if God gives you an ability, it means it is absolutely left for you to make judicious use of the abilities that God has given you. So we talk a lot, coach to athletes. Before we get into training, we spell out the day. We talk on the processes. We talk about individual response to practice by the power of your comprehension, understanding what you need to do, and don't see it as a work, see it as a process that you must undertake for you to achieve. So we have a dream, but we set goals. Whenever we, whenever we conquer any of the goals, we are one step closer to the dream. So we must try our best to always conquer every goal for that day, for that week, for that month, and for that year. It's very difficult when, especially in this part of the world, where people always believe that before they can do well, they need some external force. They believe the Western world have all the solution, and they think the Western world know the secret to performance. But I had told them that this is what I told my athletes. I told them that first of all, you have to trust that you have this ability. Second, you have to trust that where you are right now, you have all it takes. Thirdly, you must understand that people are the same everywhere in the world. The only difference is how they do stuff. Number four, you need to know that whatever you become in life must be your entirely responsibility and your decision. So what have you decided today? I put all that on the table. You take the idea into practice. At first, it was difficult because of the ability to comprehend and also understanding the understanding words. You understand what the word is. You just don't hear it. You must understand it so that you can function with the words that you have heard. So we keep that more as practice than actually the training section. So at some point in time when we're in practice, I have to pause you and said, you remember the charge we took before the practice? You said, yes. Why are you not applying it? Now apply it and let's see the difference. So most of the times when they apply and they see the difference, they kept getting used to it, kept paying attention to details, because I always tell them that the difference between very good and excellent is attention to details. So the more you pay attention to details, the more your comprehensive ability, your comprehending ability increases. And the more your comprehending ability increases, the more your performing ability also increases. So you keep teaching them that and keep impacting them with such words and showing them the difference, and they take this information into practice. The senses responsible for performance begins to activate, and that's why you see them grow the way they grow.
Those are very strong words from you and very interesting. We see quite a lot of coaches where I watched some documentaries past in recent weeks, and so one, I think it was about Usain Bolt and how he came out to be who he was the fastest person on earth. And one of the things the coach said is, when you look at typical sportsmen and women, they have the talent. It's already there for them. So what a coach will obviously do is to make them believe in themselves and make them channel that talent to the right use. And it's exactly what you're saying right now. I mean, most of your athletes, the ones you're coaching, they've got that talent, and they just need to channel it and obviously believe in themselves that, listen, I am human. I might be running or jumping against the so-called Westerners, but they're as human as I am. All I need to do is just believe. And we tend to see that. I mean, when we go to Olympics and major competitions, we see Nigerian, especially sportsmen and women, especially in athletics, they in the diamond leagues or whatever leagues they run, they tend to do well. Then when it comes to major championship, Olympics, World Championship, we see ourselves dropping down. Would you say what you've just said now is one of the reasons why we falter at the world stage?
Well, you know, I always tell people that you really need to know. You really need to know before you can say anything regarding to performance. If you don't know anything about performance, then don't say anything.
Hmm.
You see, performance, performance is specific. You project yourself toward those competitions. So now you see, sometimes when some things are altered, it also takes away it's like a puzzle. When you are arranging a puzzle and one of the puzzle is missing, you know the picture is not complete.
True.
Unless that one puzzle is fixed at the proper, well, it is. That's the point. Now you see, unfortunately, we came from a society where things are not systematic.
Hmm.
You know, things just come at random.
Hmm.
There is no specific planning. All they do is when they need you, they pass a call to you and say, "Hey, you have to report."
True.
You know, and then when you do that, you are altering so many things about that particular system that this person has programmed. One of the things I would likely say is the fault from the athlete and the fault from the athletic systems or the sporting system that are operating at that point in time.
Hmm.
For example, when you need an athlete to come perform for the nation, there's a certain way you present it to that athlete to make the athlete understand that they are patriots and they are respected as patriots.
True.
You don't start making them feel like it is a privilege for you to do so. So if you don't want to do so, you can go to hell.
Hmm.
You don't make them feel that way. Don't forget that these athletes, especially those at the pro level, they rub shoulders with other citizens from different countries and they see how they're being treated. So don't think they don't know what they're doing, or even though some of them want to try to prove this superiority complex, like they lived abroad, so they know what they're talking, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes you don't address the system too in that format. You have to know the boundaries and know how it works so that there will be harmony. So when you have harmony, performance will come. But when you're not harmonizing, there will be no performance. The performance will be at a brink. It might be 50-50.
Hmm.
Chances that you perform and chances you will not perform. That's why I kept saying that individual response to many challenges matters a lot, especially on track and field. Just a little distraction will ruin everything. Because the athletes, they falter a bigger competition like in the world. I wouldn't really blame the athletes. I think I will blame the system if it comes to that. Number one, in Africa, especially in Nigeria, the athletes tend to perform much better in circuit because of what they're going to gain. That's just the truth. Secondly, they'll be treated very well when they perform in the circuit. Thirdly, they know they will get what they deserve from the circuit. They know. And of course, when they come home and they try to, personally, I have been to competitions where we don't have physiotherapists. We didn't have physiotherapists. I mean,
that's you, representing Nigeria as a nation.
Yeah. Yes, we don't. We
Wow.
didn't have physiotherapy. We had to talk
Wow.
to other physiotherapists from different nations.
For
You
real.
want to help, our friends and all that. And then we have arguments, lots of arguments. We have lots of arguments right there at the venue of the competition, which is not supposed to happen.
So when you have these
You will never
arguments,
find.
sorry to cut you
You will
short.
never find.
When you have these arguments, do you expect the athletes to do well then? I mean, these are the kind of things people do not
That's the
see
part.
because it's in the background. We don't know
This is
what's
this is
happening.
this is exactly what happens when the athletes when they have this argument. The athletes don't sleep. They think about this argument all through the night. They
Hmm.
can't sleep because they feel when they stand up for themselves, their tag has been rude and disrespected. They also feel that if they keep quiet, these people are going to keep doing this stuff to them.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They feel if they stand up and they speak, someone has spoken to them and corrupted them, so they are now being indisciplined. You know, but these athletes are adults for themselves. They could
Yeah.
speak. You
Yeah.
know, and some of the are made because they don't want to miss their chances of making the team the next time. They have to, keep quiet and absorb it. But the psychological effect is still in them. You don't want to give 100%. Even if you want to give, the body will not respond because the mind keeps telling the body, you see, you had this argument yesterday.
Yesterday.
What's the need killing yourself? You try to
True.
fight that before you know the gun has gone. Boom, the killed in such races. This will be very difficult, especially in the sprint. Less than 10 seconds, it's over. You
Hmm.
can execute no more because your attention has been divided between the line of crisis and performing well. Now, how do you expect such athletes to perform well?
Hmm.
It's going to be very difficult. So the alert of little things that the system doesn't take serious. They don't take it serious. They think, oh, come on, this shouldn't disturb you. That shouldn't disturb you. But guess what it does? As a coach, I've experienced it a couple of times. As a coach, when I'm testing my athletes in competition, I already know their performances from the testing. So when I look at the performance that you have now is going to be below average, I know what to say to you as a coach. And this athlete that I thought that the performance is below average, we go out there because of what I said to him to perform above average because of the things I said to him. So when we talk to these athletes, especially at the venue of competition, we ought to be careful talking to them
Hmm.
and don't outsmart them by telling them everything is okay, and then when they get back home, everything is not
Goes back
okay. They're
to
gonna
square one.
approach the next, yes, they're gonna approach the next competition with that mentality of you being a fraud. That's
Coach,
exactly what they do, and
sorry.
they really wouldn't know they're doing that.
Hmm. Sorry to cut you short now. So with all this going on, do you sometimes find yourself in the middle? Like you have a responsibility to your athletes because they are like so to say your children. You have to defend them, what may, and then you have
Yes,
another responsibility in whatever way to this system embodied, by obviously the power that be that run sports. Do you find yourself
absolutely,
sometimes, and how do you sort that out?
absolutely. That's why, yeah, that's why I started by saying that you must know first before you can perform. You have to know.
Mm,
It means you have to have a knowledge of what you are doing. I go to the athletes, not just my athletes, the parties involved sometimes. I go to them and say, look, we are not here to talk about issues. We are here to perform. That's the number one
okay.
reason why we are here to represent our
Mm,
country.
mm,
Let's talk about every other benefit or every other thing that comes alongside with it. Let's just go for performance. If as a matter of truth, this is what I tell my athletes every time in our training sessions. Don't look for money. Do what brings money. Money has the characteristics of a bird. If you chase birds, they fly away. But when you get grains and some other stuff and throw at them, even in the sky, they recognize you and they come down straight to you.
True.
So I always talk about performance. Performance not against anybody, but against their abilities. So I remind them all the time that when you stay on that podium, it is your name.
It's true.
Always remember that. When you stay on that podium, it is your name. It's no one's name but your name. And then I go to the officials and I try to say, look, guys, we are like parents to these children. We need to sometimes listen to them. Don't get angry. Don't get irritated. Probably what they're demanding for you don't have it. But we can still pacify them, talk to them and tell them, look, if this thing is here, you will get it. The reason is because it's not here. And you know when you tell these athletes that they don't want to believe you because of past experience. They don't want to believe you. So you have to be a little bit more patient for them to understand. I know these athletes, they will understand you. They will understand you, but you have to be a little bit more patient. But in the process, some of the officials will lose their temper and they get angry and they're like, you know what? And when you have a team like that, you say this to somebody, even without saying it directly to the athlete is going to hear, or the official is going to hear at the end of the day. You'll be so surprised. So I try to make it look like, look, we are here for a purpose. Let's achieve it. Anything that is entitled to us, we get it. If we don't get it now, subsequently in the future, we may get it. But when we are in competitions, please let us hold ourselves. You have divisions within the officials and the athletes. And you have division within the athletes, and you have division within the officials, and you have divisions between the athletes and the officials. Now, that becomes a deadlock. How much time do you have to settle all that? Because you still have to go for practice, you have to go for treatment, you have to go for your meals,
conditioning,
you have to come back and rest, and then you have to go. You have to go for a meeting. I don't know. Those things are too way much of a burden to make performance real. You know what I'm saying? Imagine an athlete that has run the first round. He knows he's going to race the second round by tomorrow or in the evening, and then you are having an argument with that athlete. And some of the athletes also, I'm saying this, some of the athletes don't have their personal coach with the team. So it makes them be a little bit almost uncontrollable. Some of them will report wrong cases to their coaches back at home or wherever they are and say, this is what happened, this is what happened. And of course, some of them will get angry and they keep lashing and all that, So these disparities where athletes want to listen to what their coach is saying, and the coach with them in competition is not really communicating with directly with the athlete's coach, and the athlete think that what the coach said is more important than what the coach in the team is saying. You have all this mix up, and this is not supposed to happen because other teams that perform very well don't have this kind of crisis. We see them all the time.
I suppose
so that's why I told you that.
I suppose
the challenge is in the system.
I suppose that's you just nailed it. The issue we've got is obviously the system in Nigeria. I've lived in Nigeria for a long time. I've been a sports journalist for a long time, and we've always talked about this system. We've talked about administration of sports. We talked about structures. When is this going to ever end? That we're going to have a structure and we have a system in place to now, channel all the talents, to now bring out all these talents and then be able to compete favorably, not on the individual levels. Now we're not talking about circuits. Now we're not able to, compare and compete favorably with other nations. Do you think that's ever possible? Maybe let's give ourselves a timeline in the next 5 or 10 years.
Everything is possible. It could even happen in 1 year.
How do we do it?
The party should be willing. The party should be willing. This is it. In a system, I studied engineering, and majority of structuring, majority of having a system functioning at full capacity is the structuring of the system.
Mm-hmm.
If every department in structuring is playing their part correctly, majority, let me use majority, is playing their part, correctly, we will be able to find out where the fault is and fix it. That's just it. But when every part of the system is involved in one shadowy deeds or the other, you cannot find where the fault is coming from. It's as simple as that. For me, I honestly think, once you consider the athletes as your children, I'm talking to the officials now, you consider them as your children, and you wouldn't have anybody treat your children the way you're treating these ones, you'll be able to think straight. You'll be able to think straight. I know every Nigerian athlete right now, they only want to be treated right. That's all they want. That's all they want. They don't want too much. Just treat them right. Don't treat them like, so what? That's how they be. That's how they've been treated, and that's how they feel.
And the interesting,
like, so what?
And the interesting part, the interesting part is most of these people in the system, the administrators, obviously when they go for championship, they try to get themselves the best of the best, even though they're just there to not necessarily to administer now, but just to show face. Yeah, permit me to use those words, to show face. Because at the end of the day, you guys are the one doing the job. You are coaching your athletes, mentoring them, psyching them up, and the athletes in turn will be delivering the goods. So why have a contingent of maybe going to the Olympics or Commonwealth Games? You have a contingent of 60 administrators, and we're going with 30 athletes. What use is that? I'm probably asking the wrong person this question now.
No, this is me. You can take all the officials you want if you have the financial capacity to do so. It's no problem. But don't forget the single purpose why we're going for these meetings. Though that single purpose, that's where all the energy should be channeled to. I mean, I used to tell people, never compare the United States team to the Nigerian team or the United Kingdom team to Nigeria. Don't ever do that. These people have been in the system that has been working. We don't have such atmosphere, honestly speaking. We don't. Majority of the United Kingdom or United States athletes based in their country.
Yeah.
Because they have everything that it takes to achieve performance. But we don't have it. So that's why a lot of them go for scholarship or based outside the country to use these facilities and improve their lives. We don't say what the country will do for the athletes. No. We were saying, I was having some chat with someone some time ago. It was talking about service delivery. Service delivery is something very simple that the government will provide for, talking about access to stadium, gyms, other sporting facilities. That's, you just provide all those atmosphere, which is very helpful for athletes. We're talking about what we as the athlete or the sports person we do for the country. But before we come to that aspect, we need to understand what it takes to see this country has provided these facilities and these amenities then we have to do this for the country because they have provided the atmosphere for us to do so. Now, this is just by the wayside. I've watched the United States team and the Jamaican team and the English team. They come, I mean, literally, it's like one athlete to one coach, one physiotherapist. So they always come with huge contingents, which is not a problem. Nigeria is capable of doing that, no problem. But why they came with all these contingents is reasonable. I mean, it's tangible. They came for performance. So everything that makes these athletes perform very well, they come with it. They come with them. They come with everything. But why are our officials there? Why are they there? They should ask themselves the question: are they there to make the athlete perform, or they are there to take extra codes?
You just said it.
It's all about gossip all the way. That's what they do. One athlete will go and say this to them without them investigating or finding out the other side, verify the other story. They won't. They just take it to heart and believe this is what it is. Where do they do that? One official will come and tell this athlete this stuff. The athlete will gather the rest athletes and say, "Did you hear? Have you heard? Have you heard?" That's not supposed to be coming up when we are in games or championships. But guess what? This is what they do. This distraction. I have seen the athlete, they will be unable to sleep. They will be talking about these issues. They will be talking about these issues. And how can you be doing nothing drains your strength more than mental and psychological stress. Nothing drains your physical activities don't drain your strength. In fact, they regenerate you. But mental, psychological strength can be drained in seconds. That's why you see when a person is smiling 1 minute and a bad news comes, the person will be angry for like 24 hours. But he's happy. 1 minute he was very happy. It didn't take much to get him happy. But a little negative report gets the person angry for more than 24 hours. Now this is going to deteriorate the concentration of these athletes. I find it very alarming, very, very alarming that these officials don't know these. You know,
would you say they do not know, or they tend to feign ignorance and again they are just there for their own selfish needs, or probably greed? Because obviously you just mentioned when they go abroad, all they think about is Esther codes. So I had a discussion with somebody recently, and I did say something, just like you said. Don't go out looking for money, but when you go out looking for what will make you money, you get it. Money will come. Okay, so these guys do not understand that the more we do better, the more we do well in competitions, the more money or what have you, glory will come to you. You know, so could it be that they know what they're doing, but they just have what we call, and I am Nigerian, I'm proud to be Nigerian. Do they have what we call the Nigerian factor? I just think about right now. I don't want to think about the next hour.
That's why I use the word know. The word know is from the word knowledge. You need to have information of what you are doing. Now, if they know that what they do today will speak for them tomorrow, why are they much in a hurry to talk about just today? The fact that they don't the fact, that's just the truth. If they know, some of them will voluntarily say, no, I don't think I should understand. And some of them will think they know when they get there and see the atmosphere. They should honestly talk to themselves. What do we want? Do we want performance, or we want jamboree? So It has never been objective, honestly speaking. When they speak to you, they tend to think they know it better than you do. Even coaches, I mean, coaches see themselves to be superior to another coach. Where does that happen? In a championship or in a game? You can find that happening. I sat down on the long jump, stand where the coaches stay, and I hear other coaches talk. They even talk to me about it is for the progressive. Where someone also will be wishing that you fail because they didn't do well. They rather us go home empty-handed than for someone to take the day. They don't know that it's not someone taking the day, it's the country that is taking the day.
Mm.
You see, some of them can literally push you down to ensure that you don't get anything. They push you down and they don't want you to win. They're hoping ridiculous. You don't win. I'm telling you, I'm saying these lies. I'm saying it from my heart. You know, you pray for them. You want them to do well. You want the athletes to do well. You want the officials to do well. And yet they are sitting down in a circle playing politics with you, wishing that since one person didn't get it, the rest of them shouldn't get it. I can literally read it in their eyes and feel the heat from them. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you the truth. You know, these are things when they hear, they'll say, okay, that guy, we must ask him. We must ask him down. He thinks he's smart. You know, this is not smartness. This is not being smart. This is just raw truth. If you know what truth is and you have a conscience, you should know this is truth. You want the athlete to perform. And when they don't do well, you go about and tear them down. They are too indisciplined. They are too this, too that. You didn't even ask what happened. Some of them spend so much money in that. I can proudly say that the performances of Ese today, but by the grace of God, was the direction that God gave to us to meet someone, a chiropractor. He saw Ese was like this, and he said, "Do you do squats?" And he said, "Yes." Long jump, yes. He said, "You're not straight." He conducted all the tests, and I knew how much. Yes, I knew how much. This is not. I'm not talking to you because that personal stuff. I keep quiet. I just pray for the best. Yes, I pray for the best, and I'm still praying for the best. But I know how much. You wouldn't expect an athlete to spend that kind of money to train himself and come for the nation to represent the nation. You tell the athlete that, well, you see, you know what, that. You don't know how this athletes feel. They feel so terrible. They feel used. They feel left out. They feel like they feel like you are just insane. Why are these people like these? Would they ever change? I mean, you see the irritation in there, or like for someone like me now, my athlete would dare not put such things on the table on my face. He'll never, because I always tell them, do this to the glory of God and to the benefit of mankind. There are people who are dying to be like you. Please be contented with whatever you have is what God has given you. Whatever is yours, you will have it. Whatever is not yours, you won't have it. But nobody is going to eat out of your sweat from something you didn't give to them. It becomes poison to them. Sure. I tell them straight. No, don't you fight for any money. Don't you fight for anything. If it gives to you, but if they don't give to you, don't worry. So you see, it has come to that point. You know what I mean? Performance is just on the table. If these people can fix this, it's just right there on the table. Today, when Blessing would do something, that's Blessing is not daily. Blessing is that Blessing. Do you know what Blessing is going through? Do you know what Blessing is going through? You don't know. You just think you will call and then she appears and then she performs. You don't know. I'm not so also going to deny the fact that some athletes are very rude and arrogant. You can't even talk to them. Even when you try to advise them and say, stay away from this. Don't worry, everything's good. But they tend to rave and blah 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 blah. That will come out. Some of the athletes are so totally rude. They don't have respect for people at all. They don't have respect the way they talk to people. They don't have respect for the color of the country. They don't have respect for anything. They think they've arrived. They think they've got all it takes and all that. You know, some of them are like that. You know, but the most important thing is that if the windows are not opened, the mosquitoes won't come in. You know what I mean? So
that's a new one I've heard today. I will add that to my vocabulary.
Yeah. There's a line there. They treat the athlete like people. Don't treat them like you are in charge of them. And if you say no, it's no. If you say yes, it's yes. That really beats them. Honestly, it beats them down.
Thank you so much, Coach. It's been really wonderful. I mean, I wish we had a lot of time to talk a lot about this, because every person we've had on this show, especially with regards to sports, we always say the same thing about why we are not doing well. Be it football, athletics, boxing, wrestling, talk about anything, lawn tennis. There's the key issue, and there's just one point they always make: structure and the system. They go hand in hand. And obviously you mentioned that again, and it's to be honest, it's I wish there's a one fix all solution to this. I mean, just like you've mentioned, if we want to do it, we can do it.
We can do it in 1 minute. The truth is, and I believe, and I want to let everyone hear me say this. If someone is answerable to someone, this thing will stop. This thing will stop. Nobody calls them to order. Nobody asks them questions. Nobody puts them where they belong. So they think, hey, come on. You can do nothing no matter who you know. No matter where you come from, you can't do nothing. This is the major problem. Nobody is answering to anybody. If someone is called and say, give account of this, give account of that, I bet you, this thing will stop in 1 minute. In 1 minute, it will stop. They know you talk too much, you don't come on the team. You're out of the team. You talked against us, right? We'll see how you make this thing again. In a team, whether it's performance or personal vendetta, I don't know, honestly speaking. Because it's gotten to that point where you say the truth, they tag you in discipline, disrespecting, and they cast you out. You're not on our side. What side are we supposed to be? We're supposed to be on the side of performance, not on the side of anything other than performance. So we have to do all that it takes to make performance a reality, not who this be or who that be. This is not the issue. How I accept disrespect, you were talking to me, okay, save that at home. When we win, we can talk about that. I'm telling you, a winning spirit will make an athlete prostrate down and say, please, I'm sorry. A winning spirit will make an athlete prostrate down and say, please, I'm sorry, I was just off my mind. But when they lose, they become more aggressive and angered. You know, and that's not going to work in the system, you know. Someone should be answerable to someone. Someone should do that.
Thank you so much.
To ensure that you give account of that.
Thank you so much, Coach.
You're always welcome.
Quick answer to this. Ese Brume, because one of these days we are obviously going to get Ese here to talk to us, talk to Nigerians and indeed the world about what's going on. So we've heard from the coach. We also need to hear from the athlete. What's the dream for Ese? 6.691 meters, Commonwealth champion, bronze medalist. Do we see Ese
World Championship?
Yeah. Do we see Ese in the next Olympics win the gold medal for Nigeria?
I will tell you one thing. Ese is going to surpass the performance that she displayed in Doha. Wherever that puts her, that's what we accept.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. That's exactly what I want to. And at the end of that, once that is done, we'll bring you back in, obviously, to talk about the secret of how she made it. And I'm sure you'll be available
There is
for
no
yeah.
secret. Secret.
Maybe there will have been a change
The
in, you
secret is
know.
that there is no secret. we are,
Thank you.
there's
It's
the
been
secret. The secret is that there is no secret.
good. Coach, it's been wonderful talking to you today, and
Thank you so much.
it's been a long time I spoke to somebody so passionate about about the sports and about his own profession. It's wonderful. I've learned so much again from you today, and I hope one day soon we're going to bring you back in, and we're going to talk about the way forward, you know, and how we can get out of these
I'll be
woods,
delighted. I'll be
get out
delighted.
of these woods, you know. And I can only wish you all the best. Thank you for all you've been doing, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so
All
much.
your athletes, we wish them all the best. We'll
Great.
be on the lookout. We'll be monitoring them. Like I said, we hope to bring Ese in soon to talk to us, and we'll also be monitoring you too, Coach. Okay, we want you to get there. We don't want you just to coach
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nigerians alone. We want you
I'll
to
be
coach
delighted.
at the world stage. Okay, and we wish you all the very best. Yeah, you stay safe, and
Thank you
a
so much.
big thank you, and
Thank
say
you
hi to
so
your
much.
family too.
Thank you. I will do that. You stay safe too. Thank you.
Thank you,
And God
Coach.
bless.
God bless you too. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So you've heard it all. We've been talking to very interesting today. Very interesting to Coach Kayode Yaya. Said so much about sports administration in Nigeria. We've been saying that so very much on this show. We've written about it. Every person we brought in. Remember when we brought the footballer in, Eddie O'Brien, he said the same thing. When we brought the Colin. The founder of the Nigerian Curling Federation, he said the same thing. Now we brought in someone who obviously is in the center of it all, well, a mini center of it all, because we've not brought in the athlete itself. We brought a coach in to talk about this. And Yomi, I'm sure you had everything we spoke about today with Kayode. Very revealing,
Wow,
very insightful, very
it was quite
um,
impressive, you know.
I thought this has changed. Honestly, I thought it has changed. Well, it still remains the same. And your take about this, Yomi?
You know, there was a lot of truth there, and it's kind of disheartening that even people that are supposed to, I mean, you know, as journalists, we're okay, you know, we're used to the way we're being treated, but you expect the athletes, you know, and the coaches, the ones that actually, you know,
Do the job.
doing the job, actually
Mm.
don't go through the kind of nonsense that we have to endure. So it's
It's so disheartening because you the thing is, just like Coyote said just a few minutes ago, when these athletes they do well in circuits, it's because obviously they know there's a reward for them. But when they want to translate that doing well to when they wear Nigerian colors, they seem to want to climb on the podium and someone is pulling them down, you know, due to their nonsense.
I mean, they, you know, even guy they would tell you there was after I think after the last event in Doha, when I came to the hotel it was around past midnight, and it was just him and Ese at dinner in the hotel. And I think Divine and Blessing were still, you know, in their room trying to check out because they were flying back that night, you know. But every other person had disappeared. So, so you wonder that what happened to the team chaperone or the logistics manager or the, you know, how do they plan for this championship? Do they even have a readiness team that goes ahead of these athletes to sort out logistics and then wait
Mm.
for all the athletes to safely return home before actually getting out? So you expect there are people like two or three who should stay back a day or two after the competition to make sure all the athletes have gone back safely. All the equipment have gone back, have been returned safely. All the bills have been paid. Everything have been settled before leaving competition venue.
You
So
mean it could be that they had not left that time. Maybe they were probably shopping, because that's probably one of the things they do when they go abroad for meets like that. They probably gone shopping somewhere and changed hotels.
all of them are gone back to Nigeria.
Obviously keeping the coast.
Exactly. So, you know, the funny thing was the the athletes that got the medal was still competing.
Wow.
You know, so a lot of them left and never saw if they received the medal.
It's interesting.
You
So
know,
that's part of what Kayode was saying.
like the way they booked to return home before Kesh, the team won the Nations Cup. You know, because I think
So they knew they were going to fail.
you remember they booked them to return
Yes.
in
Yes.
quarterfinal before they played Cote d'Ivoire.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then when these boys won, it became a problem. So they had to reshuffle things. And eventually they won the cup. And then everybody now wanted to be part of the glory. You know. So there's something really rotten about sport administration in Nigeria. And I don't know how we're going to fix that. You know, today we had this ASVGA African Sport Conference. And there was lots similar to what the coach said by Shaye Ogunlewe, one of the panelists. And also Ege Vanzi, the South African 400 meter hurdles champion, who's retired now, about some of these things that athletes have to face and endure in Africa. There's a lot of nepotism and a lot of people in the system, who have no business at all being there, and these guys are just hogging the place and holding the whole continent back.
It's a shame because at the end of the day, the average people out there who obviously follow sports, they don't know what's going on. So the issue is what they see is, oh, athlete A ran bad today. We were hoping this athlete A is going to be the Olympic champion, or she came 8th, or he came 8th or 7th. So they do not know the behind the scene. They do not know what happened. They do not know why this athlete performed dismally, So I mean that's one of the reasons we've got the Way Show, obviously, to talk to people and bring out this, and obviously to educate people that when you see these people perform the way they perform,
there's a lot that's going on.
There's a lot going on behind the scene. So that's one of the reasons why I'm actually excited. We had Kayode in today, and he was obviously able to, bear his mind out and tell us, and obviously educate people watching today that it's not entirely, most times it's not entirely the athlete's fault. It's a problem with our structure. It's a problem with our system. Until we change the system, then things will not improve. And one of the other things he said is we should stop comparing the typical Nigerian process or system to the one obtainable in the UK, in the US, in France. It's totally different culture. And that's why those countries will continue to do well, because they have a plan. Okay, they have a plan for, the Olympics coming up pretty soon, COVID-19 willing, pretty soon. So they might have had a plan for 4 to 8 years for individual athletes to get a gold medal or silver medal or bronze medal. Nigeria is not like that. It's always like a month or weeks to the competition. Then you now call these athletes in to say, all right, come on, Nigeria score Obe. So you need to come in now and answer the father's land score. It shouldn't be like that. You do not know how these guys have been surviving. Fine, they might be outside the country. Some of them are in Nigeria. You don't even know how they feed. You don't even know how they condition their body. You don't know the state of mind they are in. You don't even keep in touch with the people in Nigeria, not to talk about the people outside the country. Then how do you want them to just suddenly, just jump on on the next train or plane available and go there to run their hearts out, and then you expect them to win a bronze medal, not to talk of so things like this, it's one of the reasons why the Way Show is here. We bring these people in, we talk about passionately about what's going on, and how we can remedy it. I know it's a long process. Kay said, Kayode said it could be changed in 1 minute, but I know it's a massive, long process.
Yeah, that's true. The good thing is there's opportunity now, and in a way, COVID-19 has helped to press the reset button. So I know, like the conference we had today, and some of the discussion and conversations going on will help people to, to take a deep breath and think, okay, we can do this better. We can, we can better. We can do this the right way in Africa. And I'm quite excited with the level of discussions today, at the ASVG program, because a lot of panelists, they understand, and they, saying the same thing along that line. They understand the issues, but then we all know these problems, so we need to focus on solutions now. And I hope things will not be the same after this COVID-19. People now realize that there's no time. We just have to move on with the rest of the world.
You mentioned the forum today, ASVG forum, and we've had countless forums in Nigeria, in Africa, about the way forward. It's always the way forward. We go again, then we go back to the drawing board, then we go again, then we go back to the drawing board. Why is this going to be different, in your opinion?
That's what I'm saying, that one can only walk, and that the experience that people have had in the last 4 or 5 months have kind of, allowed people to see things in a better way and know that look, the whole world is moving. A lot has to change. People have to move with the times, and technology will work now. So we can no longer continue doing things the old way. And if you have a sport industry that is not competitive, we'll be left behind. We can't even survive. Companies are going to be looking at their books and looking at their staff, and if you don't bring value to the table, you'll be chopped out. So why should we not do the same in public public services and in the sport industry as well?
Well, like you said, we can only hope. I just don't want to sound negative. I don't want to be a pessimist. I want to be an optimist. I want to be positive. I want things to go right, not only in Nigeria, obviously in Africa. Nigeria obviously would always hold that torch as the largest, biggest black nation on earth. If things go right there, I mean, it would be an example to the rest of the world that, okay, things have gone right in Nigeria. So we, and permit me to say, and excuse me, other nations, or the nationalities listening to this or watching this, or the smaller countries will now be able to say, well, it's going well in Nigeria, So we can obviously make a change to it. We need to rediscover and really go back and rediscover ourselves. And I think that's a key thing. We need to rediscover the person. I mean, the nation we are, what we are, and realize that we're not just Nigeria because we are Nigeria. We are Nigeria because we represent hope. We're Nigeria because we are we represent, and we represent blackness. We represent a total nation, the black nation, a race. If we discover ourselves and know that we are not just Nigeria or Nigerians, we are a race, So maybe then we were able to sit down, think about getting things right, not just in sports, in every aspect of our life. Yeah. So
thank you so much, Wale. I really enjoyed the conversation you have with the coach. So hopefully next week we'll be back.
Yeah.
And
So
then
yeah, next week we will be
back on our YouTube channel next week. So.
Yes. So next week we will be we'll be moving away a bit from sports. We'll be doing sports and entertainment next week for sure. So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag if you're watching this now, but just stay tuned. There's someone special, two people special coming in, young people. We've heard from the coaches now. We've heard from part of the administrator of the Nigerian curling team, founder came on about 2 weeks ago. We've heard from an ex-player. So we're going to hear from a present player and obviously someone from the entertainment scene next week. So like I said, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. We're going to see them tomorrow, next week, Sunday. Make sure you tune in and watch us. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is the time. The Way Show on YouTube Live. And obviously, we'll see you then. And please, whatever you do, stay very safe. Stay very safe. COVID-19 coronavirus is real. Stay very safe.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Subscribe. Please hit the like button.
Yeah.
Hit the like button. Subscribe to it and like everything. Thank you.
It's the Way Show.
Yes. The Way Show Weekly. That's what it's called. So, and to all our Muslim brothers, Eid Mubarak. And see you next week. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, Yomi.